All right. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate you taking some time to talk with me about this movie because I just watched it last night. And Ethan, I gotta tell you the first thing I thought of when I was watching it, right, was that this was like the perfect time for it. Like this political season, like the presidential elections going on right now, and I feel like some of the tribalism, the loss of identity, the way people adopt the identity of their political parties, it feels like a frat in a lot of ways to me. I could
Totally.
be off, but you're not in your head, so I think I could be on to something here.
Absolutely. And I feel like a lot of our politicians come from fraternities.
Hmm.
And you know, yeah, I mean now it's I mean, I feel like you know, everything you said is right. And I think it's kind of about like how we value our institutions, kind of like as we have a tendency as Americans to value institutions over the lives of our neighbors.
Hmm.
And we pledge allegiance to these institutions that don't have any allegiance to us, which I think you is definitely like something you can see going on today. And yeah, I mean, 100%.
Yeah, I think 100%. I'd say the only, difference and kind of the reason that, in some ways, I think this movie's reaching out to uh, people who are in the situation is that they're also just kids, and the
Right.
thing about politicians and people is that, they're adults. And I think that something about this, when I went and visited and lived with a fraternity in the South to prepare for the movie, I just really, it struck me how young the faces looked. And I think that the movie is as much about how impressionable you can be as a young man, especially if you don't have role models or strong family unit. You can really uh, you'll do anything to kind of rid yourself of that isolation
Hmm.
and that feeling of a lack of identity and a lack of masculinity. And I think that that is something that really resonates with young people everywhere, but especially in America, where we feel, I think at times disconnected from our families and our parents and the American dream and things. And so I think the movie is really important because it's not just about how, when people go wrong, it's about the line between being just a little boy wanting to be included at the party and doing things that have actual moral consequences. Um,
And just to elaborate on what he's saying also, it's like the line is almost like conformity, and lineup is actually what they do with pledges during hazing. And yeah, uh, I feel like all of this is like I mean, yeah, I feel like we've covered this
Yeah.
probably.
Uh, Alex, big fan. I've watched a lot of your movies, man.
Thank
It really seems like you threw yourself into this one, man. Because I don't think I've ever seen you act like this before or like look this way.
yeah,
It
yeah,
looks like you worked out like a demon for this one a little
yeah. I
bit.
did. I really
Uh,
did. Thank you for noticing the gym time I spent.
talk to me about the physical transformation you underwent and everything, because even the way you speak is different in this movie. It seems like you just went through a lot in order to become uh, Tom for this role for this movie.
Well, thank you. I just appreciate you. You do put a lot of work in as an actor, and it's really nice when it's noticed. But I will say that the main thing was I wanted to feel that what it would feel like to puff your chest out and the sort of need to show your muscles and to show your strength and this kind of uh, dated idea of what it was to be a man and to try and get in touch with that side of myself, sort of primal, caveman like quality, and for working out to just, and the voice came with that, and the posture came with that. And I think that maybe the interesting thing was how much it's already there, in all of us. I think there is that part of us, and it kind of just depends on how far you lean into it, or how far you uh, disassociate from that part of yourself. But I think part of the gym and the eating of it and the voice and all of it was about, it wasn't really about external as much as how it felt to walk around. Um, uh, because what I noticed was you're still the same person, and you still have all the same vulnerabilities, and you still feel as much like I keep going back to feeling like a little boy, but I think that it was the most immature I've ever felt making a movie.
Hmm.
It was the most uh, disconnected from a sense of confidence, and that's why I felt the need to kind of push things up. I'm pretty sure the doorman in the building. One second. Hold
It's
on.
okay.
Hold on. This is real adult stuff.
It's all
This is
right.
real
Yeah,
adult
yeah,
stuff.
dude.
1 second. Hold on.
No problem. No problem. Ethan, how how much did you know about fraternity culture before you started this movie? What kind of research did you do? Have you been in a fraternity? What was your research going into this?
So, going to college, I graduated in 2010, but I lived next to Beta Theta Pi in college. And so
Mm.
during Hell Week, they had all their pledges listening to I'm Blue on repeat
It's
in
in the
the
movie,
house
I think,
next
isn't it?
door.
It's in the movie
And
too,
yeah,
isn't
it's in the movie, exactly.
it?
And then after college, I was living in the East Village, and a friend of mine moved out of our place and had his friend from high school move in who had just graduated from University of South Carolina, and was in SAE. And Alex Russick and I, my co-writer, uh, took a camcorder, asked him about his experience for like 6 hours, and used that as the basis for the original screenplay in 2012. And I think it was kind of like inspired by that. And at the time, I was watching a lot of Paul Thomas Anderson movies, and I feel like in his movies, like you have a character who like is like feels like dissatisfied with their family and tries to reconstruct a familial unit in a different context,
Yeah.
but like realizes there's a set of issues that come along with that too. And it just felt like an example of that in my real life. And then as time passed, my perspective, like I just got older and my perspective shifted a little, and I tried to like integrate that into rewrites. And yeah, so, and then of course, me and Alex had the opportunity to go to University of South Carolina before we shot, and where we met Nick Basile, who plays Frank, Mason, who plays Oliver, and Sal, who were in SAE there, and ended up, they knew the movie we were making and chose to be in it anyways, which kind of just like, reinforced my sense that like kids are joining fraternities because that they want to be popular, and that that they might not if that wasn't currency on campus.
I got time for one more question. I could talk to you guys about this movie all day, but I got to mention Bo Mitchell is amazing in this. Austin Abrams, fantastic. I got to talk about that one intense, incredible scene, that confrontation you guys have. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen the movie yet. Uh, Ethan, I got to talk about where the idea for that confrontation comes from. And Alex, I got to talk to you about what it was like shooting that scene because it's wild.
Which
Um,
one? Austin and me in his dorm room.
With everybody.
Oh,
Garage.
that scene. Got
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
The,
yeah.
the end.
I mean, it's tough to talk about without spoiling.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I feel like, and I'll let Alex like really talk about this, but I feel like the whole time it's like Tom is caught in this war that he doesn't really want to be a part of, but doesn't understand that he has agency.
Mm.
And so I feel like that moment is like the culmination of that. And you want to.
I think that that's, a scene that's better. The less said, the better for that scene. But I will say, shooting it was Austin Abrams is one of the best actors of his generation, and he is one of my best friends in the world. And watching him go through that and deal with what he was dealing with emotionally during that scene was one of my favorite experiences ever. Part of the joy of when you get to act and work at a high level is that you get to work with amazing actors and you get to watch them do amazing things. So it's kind of like your front row seat at a great concert or something, because it felt like that when I got to watch Austin feel these things, because I'm in the scene too, but I also, when it was on his coverage, I could just sort of admire what he was doing.
Well, it's an incredible scene in a movie that I really, really liked. I can't wait for more people to see it. Ethan, Alex, thanks a lot for taking a few minutes to
Thank
talk to
you
me
so
about the
much.
film.
Thank you so much.
Best of luck with the film, you guys. Thank you.
Really
Thanks a lot.
appreciate you.
Thanks. Thanks for checking out the show. If you like what we're laying down, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell to receive notifications for all of our latest stuff.